Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
Not the dating app Bumble telling women that a vow of celibacy will never work. Not y'all saying that us being celibate is not healthy and is not good for us. What, are y'all losing members? Have y'all realized that women have given up on dating apps? Have y'all realized that women rather keep their clappers closed than to open them up to jokers on y'all app? Have y'all realized that maybe this target audience is not the people y'all need to be talking to? Y'all could have said so much more on that damn billboard than attacking women and telling us a vow of celibacy is not what we should be. Or is there a bunch of men running this app that are just willfully ignorant to what's going on in this world and why women are choosing not to be on dating apps and why women are choosing to be celibate and why women are choosing not to date?
Guys, it looks like the women are now checking out of dating sites, especially the app Bumble, after they did a revamping and a relaunching of the app specifically just for women. And Bumble has told these women to settle, just like men have been telling women to settle. And the ladies of TikTok are pissed. So now a lot of women are taking a vow to celibacy, abstinence, the 4B movement, all kind of mess. This is all actually getting pretty funny. Let's get into it.
A vow of celibacy is absolutely the answer. I don't know if y'all have seen Bumble's latest ad campaign, these billboards, but when I saw them, my mouth quite literally fell open. Shaming women for choosing to abstain in 2024 is wild. I recently got back on the dating apps after not being on them for like 5 years, and the only one that I seemed to be able to tolerate was Bumble. But even then, I feel like I just could not get into it, and now I understand why. I know we all like to joke about how the dating pool has piss in it, but let's be real, it is so much more than that. As a woman, anytime that I choose to go out and meet a man, I am quite literally putting my life in danger. In 2024, where women are being assaulted, where women are being unalived, where women are literally being dismembered after meeting up with men off of these platforms and off of these apps, a vow of celibacy absolutely is the answer. In 2024, where life-threatening STDs are running rampant, a vow of celibacy is absolutely the answer. I don't know if they thought they ate with these, but they most certainly did not. My question for Bumble then is this. If a vow of celibacy isn't the answer, then please tell us what is. Because surely it cannot be meeting up with a stranger online, going to their home, or worse, inviting them over to my home, sleeping with them, putting my health at risk, putting my life at risk, and just hoping and praying that they end up being the love of my life. Dating in 2024 as a woman has become such a chore and honestly a little bit of a joke. Like, putting aside the podcast bros, the passport bros, the 50-50 warriors, we literally are endangering our lives every time we choose to go out with men.
Well, that's a bit dramatic. Every man you go out on a date with is a freaking serial killer. That says a lot about what she thinks about men. Hence, she's wondering why she can't attract a boyfriend or husband.
If you're in the marketing industry, we have to talk about the recent Bumble fumble. So if you've been living under a rock, Bumble recently posted this billboard in Los Angeles, California. And the whole internet is absolutely enraged. So let me give you a little bit of backstory. Bumble is a dating app that is more for empowering women. In fact, the woman who started this app left Tinder, which was a male-started app, and started her own app called Bumble. This app was geared towards women and towards empowering women and was women-centered and women first. And this ad has nothing to do with women-centric or empowerment or women first. In fact, the main reason why people are getting so upset is because this ad is telling women what to do with their bodies or what not to do.
Bumble needs help. And I say this as a seasoned marketer. There are two major challenges that I'm seeing right now. One being this billboard and this billboard. I just have to ask, like, Bumble, what focus groups or data led you to this campaign and messaging? And on top of all of these seemingly tone-deaf billboards, Bumble's founder is also claiming that AI personas are the future of dating, which people are just having a field day with on Twitter. This Twitter user responded to the news saying, at this point, being happily married must feel like having had the morning off from your job at the Twin Towers on 9/11.
Bumble choosing to make billboards about celibacy and women choosing celibacy and telling them you don't have to do that just shows you how much they low-key center having sex in their apps, but yet they claim this is an app that they want people to meet and date. Like, you can tell that they have this low-key goal to encourage that type of bad behavior, because the longer women are thrown into the mix of like dating confusion, engaging in sex too early, and then it doesn't work out, hookup culture, and then you're back on the apps. The longer you do that, the more they can keep you on the app and have you paying for stupid services you don't need on the app. It's just stupid how they didn't think, people would peep that. And it's such a huge miss, because why do you have to talk about celibacy or anything that has to do with engaging with sex on your billboard? Why didn't you focus on love, companionship, or hope, or not giving up, or even saying something like, there are still good people on the app? Or they could have said something like, we're working on a better filtering system. We're going to have more screenings, something else that like represents or shows that they've listened to women's complaints about the apps. No. Instead, they focused it on celibacy.
So Bumble has all of these new billboards condemning women for taking a break from the dating game. Here's one, full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer. Same words, different ads. They're telling you, oh, we know the dating game is rigged, but you still have to play. 4B is working, ladies. Or whatever you want to call it. Women taking time, putting themselves first, decentering men is working. And all these companies that rely on using you as the product are scrambling, trying to get you back in. Dating sites used to be free because you're the product. They're selling you to men without your consent. And then these companies got greedy. For the same substandard men, they wanted to divide them into tiers and get you to pay to have access to them, because they said the reason you're not getting good enough matches, the reasons none of these dates are working out is because you're not paying to get access to the high value men, to the cream of the crop. And a lot of women were falling for that. But then women who had paid were generous enough to share their access and said, these are the same men. These are the same men I swiped left on for free. I said, no, I don't want them. And then you put them behind a paywall and try to give me the same garbage. We're still getting essayed. We're still getting lewd messages. We're still getting, pics of their eggplants that we never said we wanted. These men are crude. They are lascivious. We do not want them. But Bumble and Hinge, OkCupid, Tinder, you're the product. They need to be able to sell you. Otherwise, they're losing their market share. And so they're trying to shame women. They're trying to cajole women. It's no different than men. Instead of men improving, women have already told them what the issues are. But men are like, oh, well, you can't just write off all men. Some of you all are going to have to settle. Everybody's not going to get a good man. No, we already said you're not providing good men, so we're not participating. We're sitting by ourselves. We're improving our own lives. We're pouring into our friends and our families. And men are like, you can't do that. Apparently we can. And now the businesses are getting in on it because you are valuable, women. You have the labor everybody wants. You are the product, which means you control the supply. You're in demand. Continue to hold the line.
Hey guys, let's take a moment to shout out to Bumble. Bumble got these women shaking in their boots and trying to rally up their troops. This woman here is ready to continue this gender war that feminists has been losing now for decades.
Men are going to have to change if you just continue to hold the line. Look at how desperate they're getting. We're talking about how men have been devolving. Look at the first dates of women who are still dating. When they come on here to this app, they're telling you men are negging them. Men are playing games. Men want you to chase them. Men are talking about drizzle. They are devolving. They are floundering because they've realized women are not acceding to the same conditions as before, and they are desperate to play some kind of game that's going to put you back in your place, and women are not falling for it. Continue to hold the line, ladies. Major change is just around the corner.
And it's funny to me that we see a lot of these women talking about being celibate. And in my experience with women who told me initially that they was celibate, they didn't really mean that. If a woman's sexual energy is just into you, if you're her type of guy, if she's attracted to a man, she will sleep with him the first night she meet him. Don't necessarily trust it when a woman tells you she's celibate.
This new Bumble ad shaming women for not sleeping with the men that are on their platforms and hopping off the platforms is the reason you guys need to realize that dating apps were not made for you. They were truly made for men. Just in case you didn't know this, when men get surveyed, it's more than half of them that say that they are on these apps, not even looking for a girlfriend. They're truly on there looking for someone to do the least amount of work with. They don't have to walk up to you at a bar. They don't have to buy you a drink. They don't have to take you to dinner. They can possibly swipe a few times, find someone desperate enough to give them something physical. And that is not us, because we are being smart. I've talked about celibacy off and on a few times over these past few years, because I remember when I was in my early 20s, like in between relationships, I would usually find someone that I was like kind of dating and also be sleeping with. And then when I got into my 30s and I got separated, I just realized I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I did it once and I was like, oh, that really just didn't feel good. And if I'm not in a relationship with a great person, I would just choose to not be sleeping with anyone at all. And I truly feel like it has worked out for me. I'm now with someone. And if I wouldn't have had that year of being celibate before meeting this person, I probably would have been tied to someone and would not have been able to even meet them or see them. You know what I mean? So although I talk to a lot of my friends and they're still unfortunately sleeping with men who want nothing to do with them, who wouldn't give them a dime if their car broke down, who wouldn't give them a dime if their parents died and they needed money for the funeral. Those were real life situations that I just mentioned. They will still be out there sleeping with guys. But even those friends now are starting to come around. They're starting to dump their sneaky links. They're not really on the apps, or they're going on the apps and they're going on dates, but they're not sleeping with these guys, right? Because they're trying to weed out the ones that are bad. And Bumble knows this. Bumble knows that you guys are blocking them. You are jumping off the app. You're not going to take this BS anymore.
No, ma'am, you made a good point right there. I don't think modern women today can be celibate. A lot of modern women today love sex more than anything. These ladies will return back to the Bumble app in the fall when it starts to get cold outside. These ladies are gonna want a warm body in their bed.
Bumble, 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 Bumble. What a fumble you have caused. I have noticed an influx with these dating apps where they are trying to effectively rebrand, re-strategize, and really target Gen Z and millennial cusp audiences. And I just think putting out an ad like this is really not pushing anyone to your app. It is actually, quite frankly, pushing people away from your app instead. Something I feel like these dating apps forget is like we live in a post-pandemic dating economy where a lot of people struggled with just socialization as a whole. But I really feel like the need for a relationship also changed. Like women are way more comfortable being celibate and being by themselves, doing hobbies, spending time with friends, spending time with family, compared to really putting that consistency and energy into like a significant partner with a man. People are craving third spaces. People are craving interpersonal connection, not virtual left right clicks. And I think that's what's really hard with these dating apps, is because you are trying to base your significant other on pictures and like 150 characters. Don't get me wrong, if it's worked for you, it's definitely worked for you. But I think for the majority of people who don't use these dating apps or are pushed away, it's because of horrible experiences, or in general, like it's just not giving what you want, because people's intentions are also very blurred on these apps.
I think these women should get off these dating apps. I actually like the concept of this because I think it's gonna force women to approach men in public, force women to get out the house. Or if they don't approach men, just at least give men better choosing signals.
Bumble fumbled. I am sorry to say it, but Bumble absolutely fumbled. In fact, I am not sorry to say. In case you missed it, Bumble recently launched a billion-dollar billboard campaign essentially vilifying, gaslighting, and placing the blame on women for responding to the violence that's often associated in experiencing men, and creating or aligning with the 4B movement. Because the level of brain rot that I feel is incited in the pursuit of profit under the guise of capitalism and patriarchy never ceases to amaze me. Because from where I'm standing, as someone who's absolutely fascinated with the psychology of strategy, business, and development, but is also highly community centered, like there's so many more options that's available. There's so many more pivots. Considering that Bumble already has an initiative called Bumble BFF that's designed to engender platonic connections amongst women, it would just make sense to lean on that and maybe even utilize a play on the words, considering that Bumble starts with a B. Oh, there's better B's out there. I don't know. Just off the top of my head, that's what's coming to me. It just literally makes sense. But no, they chose to undermine the concerns of women and their well-being and their safety, that their choice to prioritize it and to center themselves outside of the pursuits of romantic connections and relationships with men is just astounding. Aligning with prevailing systems of patriarchy, even though it's literally leaking, it's bleeding, it's crumbling, and women are not tolerating BS anymore. Like, also considering that, like, the demographic of women that utilize dating apps are typically higher. Like, I know it varies from platform to platform depending on whatever the intrinsic culture or the prevailing culture is on that.
I think this is hilarious. And I also think this is what these women kind of ask for. So a lot of these women feel like Bumble felt the need to come out and just tell women just to settle, which is what they need to do. Like, this perfect man that they're all looking for, they're not going to find it. A lot of these women don't want to settle for so-called average men. But that's all I got in this video. You guys drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about this Bumble situation. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next one.